My name is Christoph Pelger. I'm currently Professor of Accounting and Auditing, University of Passau in Bavaria in Germany. And I've come recently to this university. I joined in October 2021. And before I was Professor of Financial Accounting at the University of Innsbruck in Austria. So my research primarily focuses on financial accounting, and in particular in the area of international financial reporting standards, IFRS. And among other things in research projects, I have dealt with standard setting at the level of the ISB, and I've also analyzed, for example, the adoption, implementation, and enforcement of IFRS. In many of these projects, and that is something which might be a bit unusual, I rely on qualitative methods to do the research. So this in particular means interviews, but also, for example, qualitative content analysis of documents. I am the section editor for financial accounting and reporting at QRAM. And actually in the past, I had been an interested observer of QRAM for quite some time, but my real involvement only started when Lukas Gorecki, the editor of QRAM, when he approached Gustav Joet, Darlene Himmick, and myself and asked us whether we would like to become guest editors of a special issue for QRAM, a special issue on financial accounting and management work. So we were very excited about that, and Lukas and I had been colleagues in Innsbruck for several years, but I had actually been surprised by his approach because I had always associated QRAM more with the management accounting research, but was very happy to see that QRAM now also wanted to move more into the area of financial accounting research. So the three of us then basically, Gustav, Darlene, and I, came together to develop that special issue. And that was a very, very nice experience because I think we had a very good exchange about the submissions and were able to find appropriate reviewers to deal with those submissions. And now are in the process of completing the special issue, which will come out in early 22 and will consist of 4 papers and an editorial. And I think we present a very nice collection of qualitative studies on financial accounting in that special issue. Lukas Gorecki approached me early last year in 21 about becoming a section editor for financial accounting and reporting at QRAM. And I was very happy to accept that position because, in my opinion, qualitative research is extremely underrepresented in financial accounting research. And there are, of course, several reasons for that. I mean, part of the reason is kind of the path dependency coming from the past where qualitative financial accounting research was largely absent, because there is a kind of mainstream dominant quantitative stream in financial accounting research, also driven by the public availability of large-scale data, but also driven by the PhD courses that are given in most PhD programs in North America, but also in other parts of the world. So therefore, I think it's a great idea to have a further outlet here, which kind of encourages qualitative research also in the area of financial accounting. So I find this very important. My tasks now in this position basically involve to deal with the manuscripts which are submitted to QRAM in this area, financial accounting, financial reporting, to find appropriate reviewers for those manuscripts and overall deal with the review process there. Having this section at QRAM might encourage more people to do qualitative research because they see it's kind of a credible thing to do. And so therefore, I hope very much that also young scholars will feel encouraged to maybe also in combination with quantitative methods or focusing on qualitative methods alone, focus on this area and try to address interesting questions in that regard. All types of qualitative research are basically encouraged to be submitted here to QRAM and also to the section of QRAM. So the topics aren't predefined, but of course they should have some relation to financial accounting. So maybe looking back at what is already in the literature, I mean, there have been quite a number of studies on financial reporting standard setting. So that is a field where I would argue, which is quite well researched also from a qualitative perspective. But there are other areas where there has been far less empirical studies of, for example, how financial accounting numbers are constructed within companies, how financial accounting numbers are used in exchanges between companies and their stakeholders. and also how financial accounting information are developed and used in non-corporate contexts. So therefore, there are quite a number of interesting questions that we also point to, by the way, in our editorial to the special issue. So it might be worthwhile to look into that piece to figure out what could be interesting empirical questions to be addressed in the future. So maybe to add a few comments about the method. I mean, given that we have such an underrepresented field of qualitative financial accounting research, the major methods that I think are appropriate here to develop new insights are in particular interviews, document analysis, and also ethnographies. So these are the methods that I in particular look forward to, and that might really help us to learn more about financial accounting than we currently know from the existing literature. So I hope you became interested in submitting your financial accounting papers, your qualitative financial accounting papers to QRAM, and I look forward to receiving your submissions or discussing possible submissions with you if you feel there is an interest in that topic. Thank you very much.